Hey everyone, Jason here, and welcome to episode 6 of Jason's O-Gauge Trains. It's been a little while since episode 5, and while I have posted a few blog episodes, I realized that there was a lot that's been added and done to the layout that I haven't shared with you all. So I made a long list of all those things, and I'm going to try to go through each one as quickly as possible. Otherwise, this video is going to be an hour long, and I don't think anybody wants that. The first thing I'd like to mention is that you can follow me on Instagram at Jason's O-Gauge Trains. I post there quite regularly, and you'll actually see some of the progress made on the layout on Instagram before I post them on YouTube. I also do some live streams there on occasion as well. Next thing worth mentioning is that I anticipate that shortly after this video is posted, I'll probably hit the 8,000 subscriber mark. So a big thanks to you all who have liked my videos and subscribed to the channel over the years. It means an awful lot to me, and if you don't already, please subscribe to the channel and we'll hit that 8,000 mark, and I'll plan on doing another live stream episode and probably a product giveaway as well. So something I'm excited to have added to the layout is actually here in my hand, and it is a brand new MTH DCS remote. If you've watched some of my past videos, you will have known that my original DCS remote that I've had for over 10 years finally broke to the point where it was not fixable. So I've been on the hunt for a new DCS remote, and they've been selling on eBay for really stupid money. But thankfully, thanks to one of my mutual friends, Sid from Sid's Trains, he bought a brand new TIU that came with a DCS remote that he didn't need. So he offered to sell it to me for a really reasonable price. So I was able to get my hands on this, all thanks to Sid. So if you don't already, make sure you subscribe to Sid's Trains on YouTube. He does a really great job. He has a really nice layout that he's building. And thanks to him, I get to use my original DCS remote again. I use the MTH DCS Wi-Fi app, but there's something about using the remote with tactile buttons that you can actually push and the speed wheel that just makes running the trains a lot more fun. And I really missed that, so I wanted to have the ability to still run my trains that way. So big thanks to Sid from Sid's Trains. Another item that I really wanted to share with you all is here in my hand, and I just took this off the shelf. It's a Norfolk Southern steel coil car made by K-Line, so it's an older car, but it was brand new out of the box. Those of you who've watched my channel know that I'm in the steel industry, and so steel coils like these are what I sell on a daily basis. So I really like these steel coil cars, but this one is a little bit more special to me, and the reason for that is I bought this from Uncle Ray's Trains in Sheffield Lake, Ohio, and unfortunately a few months ago the owner of Uncle Ray's Trains, Ray Linton, passed away, and this was the last item that I bought from him before he had passed. You know, I shopped at his store for a really long time. It was in my hometown of Avon Lake for a while. And it was thanks to him and his store that me and my dad were able to build that old layout. Most of the track, the Atlas track for that layout, was bought from him. My Hudson, that was gifted to me. You know, I bought the Norfolk Southern F units from him. So many passenger cars, freight cars, all those Triple Crown road railers. My MTH DCS system, so many things were bought from his store, and he was such a great guy to deal with, and always made sure, say hi to your parents for me. Just a really nice guy, and I was really sad to hear of his passing. So this was the last item that I bought from him just a few weeks before he passed away. So it'll be a nice memory to just remember him by. And the store is still open, and I still plan on stopping in from time to time, but just a really good guy, and he'll certainly be missed. All right, next I'll show you a few passenger and freight cars that have been added to the layout. Here are two MTH New York Central heavyweight passenger cars. These are actually the two-car add-on that go with the New York Central heavyweights that I already own, that I bought over 10 years ago. I just happened to be going through eBay, saw these for sale, and realized they were from the same catalog and were intended to go with the set that I already owned. So I made sure to snag those up right away. And now my New York Central passenger train went from 6 cars to 8 cars. And obviously, 8 is better than 6. And the coal car binge continues. These are made by Lionel. They're the rotary coal cars. I bought 4 more in the Burlington Northern paint scheme, 2 more in the BNSF paint scheme. And believe it or not, I still have more to pick up from Stockyard Express. All Norfolk Southern, so those will be added over the coming weeks and months. Maybe one day I'll finally have enough coal cars. Okay, now let's get to the part of the update that you all really want to see, and it's the progress made on the layout. So I'm going to go ahead and walk around the layout with the camera, show you all the things that I've been working on and things that have been added. All right, starting on the left side of the layout, not too much to show you over here, but if I move to the right a bit, we'll see that I have this K&R custom signal installed. At least it's installed temporarily. I still plan to sync the base into the table a little bit. I just posted a video featuring these signals, so if you haven't already, go check it out on my channel. I plan to do a video in the future of how I wire these and install them, so look for that. That's also why I have all of these Atlas snap lock relays stacked up here, because I use those to help operate the signals as prototypically as possible. I bought all those snap lock relays from Gunrunner John, so big thanks to him. And moving on to the right a little bit, we'll see that I've actually brought some of the buildings from the old layout. So this station was on the old layout. I don't know if it's going to stay here or I'll move it down to the right a bit, but here are some more buildings that you may recognize from the old layout. All four of these were in the same position. I don't know if they'll go here or if I'll angle them a little bit. Still to be determined. Still need to decide where I'm going to put this switch tower. And this is the Starbucks and Taco Bell. I've had these in the boxes for quite a while. I'll take them out here soon. These are Menards buildings, and still not sure where those are going to go. And I brought my crossing signals just to kind of show you guys where I plan to put a railroad crossing. And as I'm sure you saw in the background, I have these 4 yard tracks, just a real small yard here that I was going to kind of turn into a maintenance away facility, but now I'm thinking maybe I'll do some kind of industry here. I was thinking maybe I could scratch build a steel warehouse so that steel cars could come in on train and then leave on flatbed semis, but still playing around with what I'm going to do here. The Union Pacific engines and the big boy are just sitting here temporarily. The big boy, which I just got back from repair for the 2nd time, is still having problems. So it's about to go back for the 3rd time. So that's frustrating, but yeah, that's what happens with trains sometimes. One thing I did with these, I guess, ladder tracks is that they are isolated from the double main line. So power is off to these tracks until I switch them on with the MTH DCS remote. So let's look at the other K&R custom signals that I scattered around the layout. I already showed you this one, which is installed and operating. But then there's another double head signal right here, which is going to protect this switch, which if you take the reverse position, it'll take you to the top level, which obviously is not built yet. And then I have these 2 single heads that will protect that switch from the opposite direction, none of which are installed yet. That is something that I still need to work on, and it's going to take a little while. But here are 2 G-type signals. I'm going to show the block section right before the tracks go into the tunnel. And then over there I've got another single head and a double head protecting the entrance to the maintenance away facility. And onward to the right, this has kind of become my workbench because there's actually trains on the Peninsula area. So don't mind the mess, just all my tools and getting things built. I finally put my Wheeling and Lake Erie engines on, got those programmed in, been running those around. A lot of fun, really nice engines. I kind of redid this section right here. You wouldn't know it, but I extended this track just a little bit. Basically, I shifted this switch to the right a little bit. These Atlas intermodal cars were a little too close to the switch, and in one of my live streams, I actually was backing up the 611, and it grabbed the rail and started dragging it. So I was like, well, that needs to be changed. So I shifted this switch down a little bit. I also insulated the siding right here, so I now control it with the DCS remote because I have 10 of these passenger cars sitting up against the wall, and these Norfolk Southern passenger cars are the old versions that don't have LEDs, so they draw a lot of power. So I wanted to make sure I had the option to turn this siding track on and off. And some fun progress to show you down on the Peninsula. I finally laid some tracks that lead to the turntable. I also decided to move my Atlas engine shed over here. I was previously thinking I was going to have it over there where the big boy is sitting, but once I moved it over to this area, I realized it looked a lot better over here, and I thought it would just, it would let me change this layout a little bit, that it wouldn't look exactly like the old layout. So my plan is to have the Pennsylvania Railroad E8 and my Norfolk Southern OCS parking in that engine shed. And those will kind of be my OCS trains that'll pull the 10 passenger cars. And then moving to the right here, there'll be 3 tracks that lead to the turntable. This is a Millhouse River Studio turntable that I still have not installed. It's upside down, obviously, just to give me an idea of where it's going to sit. And I've got these steam engines just stored on the lead tracks for now, clear up some space on the shelves. Eventually, they will be sitting in the roundhouse, which will be over here. I decided I'm not going to install the turntable until the roundhouse arrives, just to make sure that everything fits correctly and it's positioned where I want it. I did order my roundhouse from Altoona Model Works. It should arrive, I think, late August, early September, he said. So that's being made for me. Really excited about that. It'll be a 5-stall roundhouse. And at least in the meantime, I've got a little bit more storage for some steam engines. And as you may have noticed, my Norfolk Southern OCS train is off the tracks. And this is one of my all-time favorite engines to run. So why is it off the tracks right now? Well, unfortunately, they're full of problems. The lead A unit has a burnt-out ditch light. The trailing A unit is locked in the reverse position and won't respond to any DCS commands. And maybe the most heartbreaking thing of all is the lead A unit has a significant paint chip now on the white paint. And I can't say that I'm surprised, because this is the original dealer appreciation set that came out in, I think, 2007 or 2008. And these were notorious for having paint chips, actually right from the factory, brand new. I think MTH offered to repaint these for people who got them with paint chips. I've always been really careful with handling mine, knowing that it could happen someday, and sure enough, it happened. So I'm looking for someone who can maybe repair the paint chip, in addition to all the other repairs that need to be done. But I'm considering retiring these to a display case. That's only if I can find someone who is willing to sell me the Proto 3 version of the Norfolk Southern OCS train. Talking to 1 or 2 people right now about buying a set, but if you know anybody who would be selling the MTH Proto 3 Norfolk Southern OCS set, I'm very interested, and I'm looking for the 4270 road number, not the 270 road number. So it's unfortunate, it's a real bummer, but these things happen, and I'm just looking for solutions at this point. And moving to the right, there's my furnace, which I still need to cover up. Here's my TV and my display shelf, and here's the couch that was finally added. I think I showed this in one of my last blog episodes, but really happy to have a couch down here so I can take breaks and watch TV or put in a train DVD or play video games. I really like having this couch here. It makes the room feel a lot more welcoming, and kind of really makes it my man cave now that I have this little entertainment area set up. But wait, there's still one more thing to show you all, and it is this Atlas Pratt Truss bridge kit. This is the single track bridge, and there's actually a second one that's supposed to arrive in just a couple days. I'm actually going to have 2 of these on the upper level of the layout, and if you look through this mess of tools where this 072 curve moves around, this will be elevated, and there will be 2 of these Atlas Pratt Truss bridges crossing this entire span of the layout. And I went ahead and grabbed my layout plan so I could show you exactly what I mean. This is the elevated section up here, and it crosses over the double main line twice. So there's one bridge here, second bridge right here, both of which are going to be these Atlas Pratt Truss bridges. It is a kit. I still have to build it, and I might even paint it a different color. It comes as black right out of the box, but I might paint it like a rust color brown. Still not sure yet, but once the upper level is built, it's going to look really impressive going over these 2 tracks and then the 2 tracks again in the back. So really excited to have the first one, second one arriving later this week. So what are the next steps for the layout moving forward? Well, as I see it, I need to get the rest of the signals wired on the main level. I also need to get all of the switch machines wired for the main level as well. I need to wire those into my MTH DCS accessory interface system so I can throw all the switches remotely. Once I have those 2 things done, I can move on to weathering the track, which is something I have not done before. So I'm going to have to figure out what technique I want to use and try to come up with a method that I think looks good and I'm going to be happy with. So once those 3 things are done, the signal wiring, the switch wiring, and the track weathering, then I can move on to building the top level, the 3rd level to the layout. And that's really my motivation to keep moving forward, because once that top level is built, it's really going to tie the whole layout together. It's going to make the lower reverse loop more operational. It's going to allow me to run more trains. It's a point that I'm just really excited to get to, kind of having a fully functioning layout again, exactly as how I mapped it out on paper. But that's not all. There's still a lot of other videos that I want to publish. For example, I want to do a wiring video on how I do the signal wiring on my layout, a switch wiring tutorial. Those will all take a lot of time. And I would still like to review my MTH Big Boy if I can ever get it to run for more than 20 minutes without breaking. And there's also a bunch of other little projects in the basement with the layout that I'll be able to work on in the meantime to just kind of improve the layout in little ways here and there. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm closing in on 8,000 subscribers. So once I do that, I'll do another live stream event. And yeah, I'll probably do a giveaway as well. But gotta hit 8,000 subscribers first. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Helps an awful lot. Keeps me motivated to keep making content. Alright, so that should do it for this update. Hope you all enjoy seeing the progress made to the layout. Feel free to ask questions in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. What? What the? What? Ah!